Hi, Taha. Are you gonna welcome me or something?
No. I'll do the handshake first.
Okay, I know it.
So you're a Beyonce fan, right?
And I sure am.
You sure are.
Mhm.
You think she's the best artist of all time?
Yes. Of all time, I think she's the best artist alive right now.
Better than Jay-Z?
Yes.
Drake?
Yes.
What's her best album?
Right now, Renaissance.
What is that her new one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Renaissance was elevator music in my eyes.
It's okay.
Oh, you don't have anything to say?
You're not into house music. You're not cultured on house music and the intricacies of that, but it's okay.
Is Nicki Minaj not better than Beyonce?
No.
Who do you think is more influential?
Beyonce.
Why?
Because I think Beyonce caters to like the mainstream and Nicki Minaj doesn't. Nicki Minaj has like a very niche, not niche, but like she is like a rapper. Like her demographic is very different than Beyonce.
Yo, without Nicki Minaj, there's no Megan, there's no Cardi, there's like none of them.
Correct.
Without Beyonce,
but like the influence of Beyonce on like society as a whole.
What influence?
You said you would not pay for a date. Your idea of a first date was to hang out in your dorm room. And I said you need to take somebody out and you need to pay. That's what I said.
What's your idea of first date?
A first date needs to be something where it's like planned.
Yeah, like an amusement park.
An amusement park, a dinner, like some kind of outing. And that's not gonna be like in your home.
So if a man took you like in a car and you just drove around the city and listened to music,
no, that's not a date.
You wouldn't go on a second date. Okay, so
that's an activity.
You'd hang out with him again.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but like you can't be in a dorm room and say that's a date.
I didn't say that.
For real.
I didn't say that.
No, you did. You did say that.
Why would I do that? Okay, sorry. Would you get a prenup?
Yes.
So like, you know how some people say that like getting a prenup though, like you're foreshadowing that your relationship's not gonna last? Like you don't.
I know people say that, but like it doesn't really make a lot of sense because like people do like get car insurance and that's not like assuming that you're gonna get into an accident.
I'm gonna name some names, right?
Okay.
And I wanna like, just tell me your thoughts after. Batman and Robin, LeBron James, D Wade, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, Tom and Jerry.
I know where this is going.
Michael and Dwight, me and you. You know what we all have in common?
You're the sidekick.
No.
That's what we have in common. No. Well, we don't really have much in common.
You see how I said Batman and then Robin, and then I said me and then you? Because
No, but it's like Gabi and Taha. It's not like
nobody's
Taha
ever said Gabi and Taha before.
No, it's like, oh, Gabi's here. Oh, and Taha.
All right, so iced coffee.
Yeah.
So would you say you're addicted or?
I would say that it is the first part of addiction is admitting that you have a problem. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten to that point where I know that my iced coffee is becoming a problem.
All right, welcome back to the Time Millionaire podcast. My name is Jim.
My name is Taha.
And today we're joined by Gabi, who also runs Gossip with Gabi. So how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So today we're just going to talk about not only your podcast, but also you are a woman in STEM, and not in STEM, I'm sorry, in tech. Tech STEM, same thing a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get to know what your reason was to start the podcast and how you do it.
Oh, you know? But first things first, I just want to say, so looking at the videos and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Just subscribe now, you know what I mean? Look at the little analytics. Oh, so yeah, sorry, we're gonna get into it listen. But yeah, look at the video. Like 80% of y'all watch the videos. Just subscribe real quick for me. Yeah, yeah, that was it. Okay. All right, so I was getting to Gabi. My fault.
All right, so what does it mean to be a woman in tech to you? What does that mean?
I think it's any woman that is interested in like entering a technology, either a technology role or working for a technology company. So it could be like somebody that does software engineering at like a bank, which is not like a tech company, but they'd work in a tech role, or it could be someone that works in HR at like Google.
Okay. So the term tech is kind of like broad, and because I guess because the way I usually think of tech is like you're a software engineer at like Google or IMB or Microsoft.
IBM.
I'm tripping today, but IBM, yeah. So why is it that somebody in HR, and you spoke about it in your podcast, that it doesn't necessarily have to do with doing a technical role. There's also a deeper thing to it, like the marketing aspect.
So there's kind of a long running debate about whether people can say that they are in tech if they are not doing a technical role. I think that if you say you're in tech, that just is describing your industry. So if you say I work in finance, it doesn't mean that you actually are doing like financial analytics. Like you could just be working in marketing for a finance company. So I think like if somebody said, "Oh, what industry do you work in?" or like what do you do for work? Like, "Oh, I work in tech." And then you would say, "Okay, I work in marketing or in HR."
Okay.
I think the more techie people, like the software engineers, like the product managers, like they kind of feel differently because they're like it's all under the same umbrella. But I don't know. I always categorize it to like in tech and then technical versus non-technical.
And which one are you, technical or non-technical?
I'm non-technical.
No, because I want to touch on that because like, you know, on TikTok, everybody's like, oh, working in tech.
I was just about to get into that. Yeah.
And like, just my 2 cents on it. Like, I feel like people glamorize it like too much. Because like, even like the people I've talked to work in tech, like they still work. Like, I think everybody makes it seem like you're just like kind of chilling, just doing whatever. But like, it's really not. Like, you still working 40 hours probably, maybe a little less. But I feel like TikTok glamorizes it to the point where it's like everybody thinks it's so sweet and like everybody's trying to get into it, but now it's like taking up like a bunch of like roles and stuff. And I think it's like really damaging, you know, because when people get into actual jobs, now they're like the expectation is so much different.
They get shell shocked or something.
Kinda. Because like I'm not gonna lie, like when I think of tech right now, I'm like, bro, like I'm not gonna do anything. Like I'm just gonna sit here and twiddle my thumbs.
If you look on TikTok, like they act like no one works. They're just paying you to do nothing.
Yeah, because even I'm not in tech at all. I'm in the medical field, but whenever I see the TikToks, they just they're like, I woke up at 8 today, and they give us breakfast, and then we did XYZ. Then I stopped working. Then they give us lunch, and then they give us dinner. So it looks like it's sweet, but I don't know. Maybe maybe there's a deep, because I don't know what it's like. What has your experience been like?
I think that you have like harder, like more like full days on certain days, and then you have lighter days. I think that there are like benefits to working in tech. So like sometimes you get free food, you get free drinks, you get free swag or like chargers and stuff on the campuses. But like you're still doing work. And like I kind of talked about in my podcast, sometimes they can leverage those benefits in order to be like force workers to be more productive. So it's not uncommon for like companies like Facebook to move up the start of breakfast and move back the start of dinner. And the idea is that employees will come earlier and stay later because they want to come and eat. And like it's like that's why I always say like you are doing the work because they want you to work longer days but you're getting the same pay. So like it's
different. That's
for but and I want to like I kind of want to go back to like that like TikTok thing, like you know everybody's posting about it. Like for one, if I wasn't like in business or tech or whatever, like I don't want to switch to. I feel like they make it seem so like great, but like I would not want to be a doctor if I, you know what I mean? Like I'm making crazy money out of school, but then like I think too is like these recruiters, bro. Like I swear they just be lying like for clout. Like I really like I promise you like. Half the time I'll see recruiters like, oh yeah, like first of all, they get more money like for bringing people in.
What counts as a recruiter? Is it because when I think of recruiter, isn't it that the corporate guy on TikTok? Is he a recruiter?
The who?
The guy with the glasses?
No,
he's not a recruiter.
No, it's a recruiter. Somebody tries to like bring you to like a company, like to do your hiring process.
Like their job is to bring you to the company.
But I just think they lie. Like I really think like recruiters are here to like make a bunch of money and like you get performance bonuses and stuff. I'm not being so serious though. Like they're here to just get more people in to make themselves look better.
Right.
And like they want like I feel like they want clout. Like I've seen so many recruiters like on TikTok just talking about, oh yeah, come out of school, you make 130, that you get stock free, you know, free food, all that. But it's like that's really unrealistic. But I think it's damaging to like people who like want like have other dreams, but like now like, oh, tech is so much money, let me do that. But now you're not pursuing what you really want to do because it's you're just chasing money. But like, there's a lot of good jobs out there that you might really like. You might get 70, 80K, which that's great. Like, especially coming out of school. But like, everybody's like, no, I need 120, I need 140. Like, but now you're doing shit you don't want to.
Let me ask y'all this though, since you guys are both in tech, right? Yeah, both in tech. And with the glamorization, I can't speak today. Would you go to another career? Did you know that you wanted? Did you always know you wanted to go into tech, or you just stumbled upon it randomly because of the money?
I mean, it's kind of like a two-pronged thing. Like that's why I kind of differ from Taha, where like I think that it's good that they're letting people know how much money you can make, because people will spend their whole life to be a surgeon when people that are in tech are making that money in 5 years, and they've been in residency for like 10 years trying to work up to get that amount of money. Now, people, like, it's well known that doctors make a lot of money. It's well known that lawyers make a lot of money. And there are people that pursue those professions because they want to make a lot of money, because there's prestige behind it. But like they're still doing work to get there. Like, you have to get through medical school in order to be a doctor. Like they have some kind of whether or not they're there for the money or the prestige, like they're qualified to do that job. So like I think it's the same thing for tech. If you want to go through and get a computer science degree,
all them leak code questions,
and grind through leak code and compete with all the other people that are trying to work for Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, like, power to you if you're making 6 figures plus 6 figures in stock. But I think that like it is glamorized because they make it seem as if you're not working. And I think that it's just ingenuine to say like, oh, you're going to send 2 emails and you're going to make $200K out of college. Yeah, like, you're going to work, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to say that you're going to work.
Right. And I think to your point, like, just for me to be clear, like, I do like the transparency of like how much, but I think like they over exaggerate sometimes, like, which is what I think. But I do like how you know how much you can make down the line. But what your question was, like, would you do something else, right?
Yeah, like
I mean, I was doing something else, and then I kind of switched. And I'm not gonna lie, I did do it for the money and like kind of like. I didn't want to be a doctor. Being a doctor was crazy to me because I don't like blood and all that. So
it's okay.
You know what I mean? But but like I think I would switch if, like, for most things, like I probably would have still made the switch, because like I think tech is cool for the fact that like you're driving like innovation, kind of like. And I think like a lot of times, like, people doing accounting is like just like going through some different majors, like doing accounting and finance, like a lot of that's like just doing projections and like looking at numbers. But like I feel like tech is where you can make like a real impact in like changing an actual company, or like changing like products and stuff. So that's why I kind of like it, because I like to create stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
I like it because you can do anything under the umbrella of tech. So like, if you want to be an engineer, you can be an engineer. If you want to go into marketing, if you want to go into HR, if you want to do like UX, UI research, like there's a category of things that you can do, and it's very common for people to move through different things. So I think I would have still made the switch, but like I want it to be a genuine, like people be more genuine about the field.
Okay, that's good.
And I was gonna say, like, kind of going into it, because like I guess we both like been through recruiting and stuff a little bit, right? Like, do you have any like, I guess from your end, like tips or like things to like getting a job in tech if somebody wanted to, or like breaking into like that type of industry?
Tips.
Or like how do you go about like recruiting?
Yeah, how did you go through it? What was your process like?
I mean, for all of mine, I literally just applied on the website, and then they got back to me. I think like having a strong resume. I don't have any like tips in particular. I think that like one of the biggest factors of going into especially a technical role is like being a personable person that can work with a group, work with a team. Like, nobody wants to be on a team of people that can't socialize with other people or can't collaborate with other people. And like in school, we're very conditioned to like work on our own work. You don't get to work with other people. You can't use other people's work. But like working in tech, like it's expected that you go and ask other people,
collab and all that.
Like ask them to review your work. Ask them, like they're going to be experts in their respective fields. So like if you can't socialize with people and like show those behavioral skills in an interview, then they're not going to want you, because there's so many other people that are capable of doing it. And quite frankly, they're going to show you how to do it.
Once
you get the role, they'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But like, you can't teach somebody how to like be a good team player. So that's my biggest thing.
And I was gonna say, like, bro, I think everybody like wants to talk about, if you want to be like software engineer and all that, like, I know how to code. Like, for some of that other stuff, I think you need to have personality, like what you said. Like, most of my, like, anytime I interview, like, I'm just there to make the person laugh. Like, that's really, like, I sit there like, bro, we're not gonna talk about this job. I'm gonna talk about how your kids, if you have pets, like, that's what I like. I'm just gonna talk about that because like they just need to like you. But I think one thing that Gabi, like, I guess she didn't say it, but like one thing I kind of like took from her though is like just apply really early. And like I don't think people like really think about that because like everybody applies in like August or like maybe like September-ish, like October. But if you apply in July, you're one of the only people there.
Wait, like, and when you're applying for that position like, for the next year.
Yeah, so you apply like I'm applying for like my full time next year, like next August. So like be a year ahead. I say apply July, like
as
early August.
As it drops,
send that.
You should be ready to send your application because then the recruiter, the first application they see is yours. So like,
and
it's a good impression.
I always apply on a Sunday night because you got to think recruiters are gonna look at it. They're not working over the weekend, so applying on Friday, Saturday. A lot of people are applying, so that you might get lost. But if you apply on a Sunday night, people are gonna look at it like Monday morning, usually because that's when they're looking at it. So like I'll always apply like Sunday at like 11, 12 p.m. Or I guess AM. Yeah, like midnight. It's like I'll do that. But I was like, shit, I have a lot.
But not everybody's gonna start doing that because they're
okay, no, they're not. I promise. But and then I also say like, damn, there was a lot of things I kind of had to say about this. Oh, for all y'all who are like selling courses on like, I hate that.
They sell courses.
They sell courses on how to break into tech, bro. It's the most wicked thing I've ever seen in my life.
They're like, purchase my subscription package and I'll show you how to get a job.
And half of them have never worked in tech. They're just like regular people, bro.
Or if they do, they're just scamming people because you don't need a course to learn how to do a job.
Everything's on YouTube. Like anytime I've done like interviews for cases, YouTube, and then Reddit. Reddit has everything you would ever need.
Yeah,
like
Reddit's actually
Reddit has every interview question to every like big company that you could look for.
Most of the stuff is on the internet at this point.
Yeah, it's like
you don't ever need to pay for anything,
bro. They be scamming like
for
crazy.
A job period. Like, why would for an entry level job you have to pay in order to figure out how to do that job? Like they know that you don't know how to do it.
Like we do work in class, but nobody does anything. Like I don't actually know.
You don't. Yeah, don't incriminate yourself now.
But the other day, like you just do what you gotta do to get by, and.
Yeah, I have to lock in. I'm just saying,
but
as you should, because I don't want a doctor working at me.
That's true.
I don't think I want that. Okay, so and then back to because I don't know what the number of big tech companies are because I know there's a big 4 consulting. I don't know if is it a big 5 for tech?
Fang. And there's a few more, maybe like 8.
Right. So do you think the software engineers or the people in the technical roles, do you feel like they feel as though they have like a power complex to other people that are not part of that?
I think they're cool, but I haven't talked to like too many.
I think they're either really cool or they're very not sociable. So like there's like not really a middle ground of people. But I think that they are very like some can be very particular about like if you say you work in tech. They'll be like, oh, well, you don't really work because you're not a software engineer. Like, you're not an engineer. And, like, I get that, I guess. But, like, nobody said they were an engineer. They just said they work in tech.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That.
Like, if I say I work in healthcare, it doesn't make me a doctor.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
See, and, like, kind of, I want to, like, move forward a little bit just on, like, there was, like, something, like, a bigger issue I felt like, I kind of want to get your opinion, where it was, like, everybody's moving to tech, right? Or they're trying to. But like, I feel like it comes down to like people don't really pursue like their passions anymore. I think like everybody's so used to like following what everybody else is doing.
Isn't that?
No. But like the thing is, I wanted to be a doctor,
right,
or a psychiatrist. But it's like I realized I wouldn't actually like that because like growing up, I always like I was selling candy. Like I was always, like entrepreneurial type stuff anyway. Like I was always selling candy. Like I was always trying to get $1. Like
shoveling
you were one of those,
bro. I was in 6th grade. I had M&M, Skittles, 50 cents.
Like
been about your money,
bro. Yes, I remember me and 2 of my friends made $50, and one day we felt we were up.
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of like big money.
We were lit. But yeah, so like, I always like that stuff. So that's why, like, for me, it kind of made sense. But like, people will really like be 2 years into your degree, be like, oh shoot, tech makes this, I'm switching. But I feel like that it's an issue because like people aren't pursuing what they really want anymore, and like there's things about you that make you different that will make you good at certain things. Like if all the doctors wanted to chase that tech money because they don't want to wait 8 years to be like get a lot, bro, the minute you're sick, you're dead. Like you're done. Like no, like really, like there's no doctors anymore. Yeah. So at that point, I'm like,
where are all the doctors?
But being for real, like, yeah, I think people don't really pursue what they want anymore. But I think if you're good at whatever you do, like you're gonna make money. Like there's probably those people who study rocks. Like if you're top
archaeologists,
you're sure. If you're at the top of your field, like you're making bread. But that's only if you really like it. If you don't like what you're doing and you're just chasing for the money, you're not going to really put in the effort.
But there's a question though.
What?
Is it still a passion if you're getting paid for it?
Yeah, it can be. Because I think
because then it becomes transactional.
No. But if you put the time in, before, like, let's say, like, I'm just using me as an example, right? Or like, let's say we did this podcast let's say we did it for 10 years and we never got paid, and then we like really got paid. Like we loved doing it, so like it was a passion of ours, and now we're getting paid. But if you had too much success early on, then I think you can fall into that like transactional relationship because it's like, oh, I did this and I saw success and I like what the success is like giving me in terms of money or whatever. And now it's like, okay, every time I do this, I get paid. Then it's transactional. But if you do something because you love it and you're getting no reward for it and you've done it for a long time, then like you just like doing it to do it. So I think it just differs, and it's like a hard line. But
fine line.
Fine line. But I think like, yeah, it's like if you're good at what you do and like you really like it, or if you really like what you do, you'll be good at it. And if you're good at it, somebody will find a way to pay you. That's how I look at it. But like, how do you feel? Do you feel like, I
feel like people don't have to do something that they like their passion in order to make money. And I don't think that that's a new thing either. Like I think people's parents, for example, be like, oh, you need to be a lawyer, a doctor, engineer. Now, recently they add in like software engineering, but like I don't think that it's uncommon. Like especially like minimum wage jobs, like people will do that, and it's not something they're passionate about, but they just need to make money to support their lifestyle in college or support their lifestyle in general. But like I don't know. I don't really. I think the bigger issue is that tech is paying more money than other industries, and other industries are paying their top people the most money. And like, if people are really going to do it for money, then you just need to pay them more, and then they'll go into your industry. Like, you want doctors that are passionate, but at the end of the day, I don't really care if my doctor's passionate. If they can do the work, at the end of the day, check out and they hate their job. That don't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, because passion is a very interesting word. Like, eventually, like you're just not gonna. I know you said it's not transactional, but like it is. At the end of the day, it is. Like once we start getting paid with the podcast, we're gonna take it more serious, and it's gonna become a transaction. Now it depends how far do you want to just stray you away from how much you love doing it. Because even think of basketball. We up. Did you play basketball? Oh,
she was a state champion.
Oh, wow. There you go. Oh, perfect. So we all play basketball, right? Okay, whatever. So boom. We all love playing basketball. Once it gets to the point where you start getting paid, it becomes a business.
You can still love it.
Yes, you still love it, but it's different.
It's still
not
your passion.
It's not the same anymore.
But like if you get hurt, you still have to play. Like you still have to like work through it. Like it's still your job.
Exactly. It becomes a job.
The environment like differs, and you might have like different external factors.
A lot more pressure.
But you still like it. Like you still love it. Like because.
But you don't have to do a job that you love.
But if you think about it, right? Like boom. If you were to be like, do you think LeBron doesn't have a passion for basketball? He could have quit years ago. He had enough money to do whatever he wanted, but he still plays because he loves the game.
Because he's good.
Okay,
I think he likes playing, but like
it's his do you know how much work it is to be an NBA player? it's passion.
We know how much work it is. We're just saying that you don't have to be passionate to play basketball now. Like you can play basketball and just be really, really good at it and go home and then just enjoy your money.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm saying like the amount of like time and effort it takes to like most people on a day to day, like let's say you're like an average NBA player, right? But you're still made like you're a role player, made millions of dollars, right? You technically could just leave the NBA and be perfectly fine for the rest of your life, and you never have to worry. But like you still play basketball because you like it, because you don't want to endure
but
waking up.
Not all of them do that. Some of them do take their money and go.
But I don't think. But I'm saying there's players who don't, and that shows like you love the game, because waking up at 5 a.m, doing 2 a day, 3, I don't know, however much they work out.
But you know it's going to get you paid.
But I'm saying they don't need the money now. It's like
Who doesn't need more money?
There's a point you don't need, like, bro. If you have $50 million, like, you don't need more money.
You don't need, but there are people that like playing, so they'll keep playing, and then there's people that don't, and they stop.
Yeah, I mean, either way, yeah.
I still think it's your like.
I think you have to like what you're doing,
and I don't think all your passions have to be like commoditized.
They don't.
There you go.
You can just, if you like doing something, you can just do it.
But I think that's what makes it your passion, because you're not getting anything for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. If you can make it a business later, then cool. But I think you start off with some love. You know what I mean?
So with y'all being in tech, how do you specifically feel about job hopping? Because I hear he was talking to me about, I'm going to work at this company and then I'm going to be gone the next. I'm not going to say the company, obviously. And then you say, I'm just going to leave. So like, how does that work? And why is that a thing you guys do?
That's a very millennial like phenomenon. Like it's very, most of the time, like
we millennials?
We're not millennials, but like they taught us, and now we're like, oh, that's what is normalized. Like, oh, every 2 years you jump from job to job. I think it has to do with making like significantly more money in the next job, and also not having opportunities for promotion. So like, if you don't provide people the opportunity to manage or the opportunity to move to roles that they would like to do, then they're going to move to another job. And that doesn't necessarily mean they move to a different company, but sometimes it is. Like if somebody's paying you 10, 15K to do the same role somewhere else, like it's very hard to say, I'm not going to go.
Right.
So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think that like there does come a point where you hit like, okay, I'm making a good money. I'm making like a good salary. And like, I want to do what I enjoy doing versus like, I'm going to jump at the first couple of thousand someone's going to throw at me. Like I really enjoy working with my team and I want to build with my team. But then you also don't want to be the person that's been there for 10 years and never.
Right.
It's not giving that.
The way I view it is, boom, I'm start off as young as I am. Like the younger I am, try to make as much money like early, only because then when I go to my new company, like that's my negotiating power to the point like I can get a little bit more. And then, let's say I'm 30. Now I can just do whatever I want. Like I can literally go to any, like I feel like at that point you have enough like experience. You can go to any industry and like you can actually do what you want to do and you're still going to get paid a good amount. Like let's say I start off making 40K. Now I'm working and like I'm grinding my like whole life to, let's say, get like 150. But if I can make like 120 out of school, I can make 150 in like 2 years. And now like when I'm 30, I probably could make like 250 and now I can just choose whatever I want to do. So like I will just job hop just to get that. Because like
I think it's expected, like when you're entry level, like,
there's no
everyone
loyalty.
Expects you to like, nobody expects you to stay for the entirety of your career. I think it's like they expect you to leave in like 2 to 5 years, or go to at least get promoted in 2 to 5 years.
There's actually no loyalty, because like even the last like place I interned at, like all the partners, like the high ups, like they come from, half the time they were all like, yeah, it's my second year here, my third year here. They haven't been here since they started. Like nobody really does that, but because things get like monotonous and like just boring. Like if you're somewhere for too long, you like that word?
It's an interesting one. That's a good one.
But yeah, I mean,
and just like diversity of perspective. Like if you've only been at one company, like you don't have the knowledge and expertise of the field more than likely. So just getting out there.
And I think, this kind of changing subjects, but kind of relating. Like I think like diversity of like perception and all that. Like I think it's really good, especially like let's say you did want to get into tech. I think it's like really beneficial because like there's people who are like bio majors and like stuff like who like switch in later. And I think like that's really cool because at the end of the day, like if everybody's a software engineer, like you're only gonna get like software engineer answers and perspectives. But like you need those bio majors, those psych majors, those like accountants like who want to switch, because now you get like their view and like you can see something completely new. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's important like to, you know, just do what you want, bro. Just do what you want. Yeah, like real shit though. Like, I think like it's really hard to not like look at people around you who are like doing well and be like, oh, let me do that too. Like, I think that like can be kind of difficult. But I think if you just find out what you want early, or like just like figure yourself out in a way, and then just chase that. Because at the end of the day, like the people who are doing really well are the people who, like, well, at our age at least, who are like in high school and they had like a big passion. Like whoever picked up a camera in like 9th grade and have been doing it since, they're probably really tough right now. And like, but they did something when everybody else wasn't, because they liked it. So just find that.
Yeah. And you know, and one of the other things, what I got from talking to you is that number one, tech is not easy. It's not as easy as people make it seem. Yeah. And it's glamorized often too much on TikTok. But the pay is good. Yeah, money is sweet. I do see how it's attractive because number one, it's glamorized and it has good pay. So then it just makes everybody want to join it. But I still think tech is a good field. I would never go into it, but I can see how you guys do. So it's really good.
Say that now. You might.
But I promise in 10 years.
In 10 years,
you might switch.
In 10 years, I would definitely be a doctor. So I'm definitely not going to.
You right?
Yeah.
But also, like, real quick, we'll wrap up real quick. But I wanted to ask, like, so what made you want to start your podcast? And then say, no, like actually, like, and then why should we support you? And that's how we're gonna end.
Okay. So I really just wanted to start my podcast because I just like having conversations about a bunch of different things and just like hearing people's different perspectives on different topics. My podcast is just me. Like, I don't have people that come in. Like I will probably like occasionally have guest hosts, but I just kind of wanted to have a place where I could just get out all my thoughts on different topics and get like people's perspective and like comments on different like pop culture situations.
Beyonce.
Like, there's a lot of, especially Beyonce. But I think like it's interesting to hear people's perspective on like social issues, things, like pop cultural issues versus like more political or like businessy issues, like personality. I like personality.
So would you say we should support you because you're doing something different?
You should support me because I'm doing something different. You should support me because it's interesting. And would you guys say that my podcast is interesting?
Yeah. We listened to your first episode. It was good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Good quality mic. It was nice.
Yeah,
it's quality.
I bet. So, you know, about wrap up here. Go like, comment, subscribe, all that. YouTube, Anchor. Watch the YouTube videos though. And yeah, time runners, we out. Nice.